YouTube tarot reader, Lisa Lee, has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Hello everybody. Well, I've just dropped something. What? I don't even know what it was. Oh, yes I do. Yes I do. Hang on everybody, I need to pick that up. That is my blue tack. If I don't pick it up, I will tread on it and walk it into the carpet. Oh gosh. That's a good professional start to a live stream, isn't it? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world when you are watching this. If you're watching this live, hello and welcome to the channel. If you're watching this as part of the replay crew, first of all, much love to you on the replay crew. You are helping out the channel no end at the moment. We're so close to that mythical 4,000 hour watch time thing that will get the channel that will actually get some money for the adverts that play on the channel, which is the monetization thing. We're so close to that, so thank you to everybody who watches these after they've gone live. I'm sure there must be something in it, like people must enjoy it, because we've got a lot of replay views. Bear with me, sorry, my in-ear is not wanting to stay in my ear. I wonder if I can put here we go, look, if I put the other one into the back of my neck on the t-shirt, that might actually help. There we go. There we go. I know, right? First world technical problems. Anywho, good evening everybody, good afternoon, and welcome, as I say, to the channel. If you're new here, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and then make sure that you have donged your bell to let YouTube know that you are interested in learning more about the channel. So basically that would be changing your settings to all, and yeah, go ahead and do the things. I did just have to play the members only thing because I'd in the break, so I've just done the members only live stream, okay, chatted for an hour, really lovely chat actually today, and then in between that and this there's that 2-minute gap, so I can go for a wee. Today I didn't need a wee, so I thought, oh, I've got one of those Reese's Pieces egg things, you know, the peanut butter, like a Cadbury's cream egg but peanut, and I thought, oh, go on then, it's a special day, I'll treat myself to one of those. And I literally started eating it and then was still eating it as Captain Kirk went on that intro thing. I was like, oh my God, help. So yeah. Jay did a thing. Yep. Thank you very much to Jay, who is our most recent YouTube member, which means, Jay, unfortunately, you've joined just after this. I know, right? I'm going to need to go, and Jay, every time it plays. But yes, so membership details, memberships are now available on the channel. Thank you so much to everybody who's choosing to help support the channel that way. Also, I've got to say, you're going to notice something in a minute. I have the most amazingly bright tarot cloth. It's bloody gorgeous, and this was sent to me by my brother from another mother, that mister from another sister. I don't know what I was about to say then. I was about to say something, but anyhow, so yeah, that was from the lovely Neil. So I've been inundated with some loveliness recently. So thank you very much to the people for doing those lovely things. I've got a lovely new necklace. I've got a lovely crow. There we go. Yay! With a super duper lavender. It doesn't look lavender on camera, but it is lavender candle. So yay. So then we're going to be doing some tarot reading. If you are new here, look at all you lot trying to make me. Yes, it is. I was trying not to say all of that, but yes, thank you. It is officially my birthday today. I am 21 and 3/4. No, I'm not 21. I am actually 39 years old today. 39 years old. That's how old I am today. Yeah, absolutely honest. So yes, it is my birthday today, which means I'm in a really good mood. I've had a really lovely day so far. And when we finish tonight, I've got to finish on time because we've got a Chinese takeaway ordered and it should be here at like just after, what's it called? 9. My brain went already. So yes, we're going to be doing some tarot reading. So let's get the housekeeping out of the way first. So then everybody, don't forget, tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life, and tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, counselling advice, or birthday present advice. Although tarot cards are a very good birthday present for anybody who's a bit witchy. Anyway, tarot should never replace professional advice, right? If you're looking for professional advice, please go and find professional advice, right? I am a professional tarot reader. It doesn't mean I know the first thing about how to, you know, skim your walls and whether or not, you know, the plaster can withstand another couple of years or whether it all needs to come. I don't know anything about things like that, right? I am a professional tarot reader, but that doesn't mean I'm able to reset your bone if you fall off your skateboard and 3 bits of bone go in 3 different directions. Not a good idea to ask a tarot reader. You probably want a doctor, somebody, physician, nurse. Even a vet would have more idea than I do. So also, you got to be 18 years of age or over. The main reason is because I do not want to deal with your mums, all of the mums and dads and aunts and uncles and parent guardians and all the people out there who will digitally evolve into their true Karen form and go, why did you tell my child it was okay to do this decision, that decision? I didn't. The cards did. So I don't want to deal with any of that. So over 18s only, please. Thank you very much. Also, I do sometimes use a little bit of sweary language. I don't mean to. It just slips out, as the actress said to the bishop. Anyway, also don't dox yourself. Don't put your personal information out on the interwebs, right? It can result in very odd phone calls and messages on WhatsApp. Trust me. So watch your own digital security. Equally, if you were asking a tarot question, right? Listen, I've got my website. So if you want to ask a personal question, right? If you want to ask something, say, I don't know, I have been having an affair with my boss for the last 3 years. Is he actually going to leave his wife for me? Right? Say if that's what you want to know. You can ask on here, but everything you say, every keystroke is monitored, right? Your best way, especially on a public forum, your best way to do something like that would be to go over to my website, which is beyondauthentic.co.uk. I forgot for a complete second then. I've got so many website things happening at the moment. But anyway, so you can go over to beyondauthentic.co.uk and you can click on it and you can book directly. That way you'll get a 45-minute, hour-long reading, and we can either do it a one-to-one live or you can do it as a pre-record. That way, none of your personal information is on the interwebs, okay? So don't dox yourself for the sake of a tarot reading. Don't get yourself in a situation where 5 years down the line, you've posted something like reasonably innocuous on here. You know, oh, I accidentally got paid twice this month. Should I keep it? And then I've gone, oh, well, the cards don't look as if there's anything negative in doing that. And then you go, haha, I've decided to keep it. And then 5 years down the line, somebody comes and knocks at your door and says, excuse me, can you please repay that £3,000 you got this month or that month, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, hopefully all of that makes sense. So my screen is doing something very bizarre, my second screen. So, doop doop boop boo. Let me just have a little look see. Excuse me. HS, good evening to you, HS. Wishes from India, face fuchsia flower shape. Oh, do you know what? I am seriously, we can turn 40 together. That would be nice. I am seriously thinking of learning some little bits of different languages to be able to say to people like welcome. I can say namaste. So namaste and welcome to everybody for joining us this evening. Hopefully I'll try and learn a little bit more, but my fibro brain doesn't really work with learning languages. But anyway, enough about all of that. Gosh, it's going to be one of these days. I think it's actually time. Shall we get the first cab off the rank? So then, how do you get a tarot reading on this channel? It's very, very simple. There are two ways. The first way, which is potentially the easiest and guarantees that you are the first or the next person that I read for, is you can send your question as a super chat. Okay, what happens then is it comes up on a whole different screen for me, and I'm just finding, oh yeah, that one, that's on the screen for now. Look, I can highlight this, yay. But it comes through on a whole different screen and then comes up automatically on that screen, right? So that's the only way to guarantee a reading up next. However, if you want to get a free reading, you can do so by popping your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. So if you want to take that option, go ahead. The round is now open. So pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, or send it as a super chat just about now. Okay, so then I've got 3 questions in. One is from Jay, one is from Lavina, and one is from HS. So what I'm going to do is I am going to click on all 3 of those, pop them into that space. Hang on, let me take the banner off, take the banner off, take the banner off. There we go. So I've popped them in that space, and I'm literally going to click on one at random. Nope, that didn't work. Here we go. Lavina! Hello, my darling. Right. Okay. 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 Jay, do you want a quick 3 card today, or if we're gonna meet up maybe Wednesday, we can come over maybe? Do you want a longer reading in Costa with a hot chocolate? By the way, I'm not offering that to everyone, and don't feel bad if I'm not offering you a hot chocolate in Costa with a free reading. It's because Jay is my nibbling. So Jay is my sibling's eldest child. So yeah. Right, Lavina, just let me know, Jay, because I can if you need one today, we can just keep popping it into the chat, or I can do you one after. But if it'll wait till Tuesday or Wednesday, then we can do it then, providing the car's okay. But that's a whole other story. Right, Lavina, let's go ahead. I'm gonna click on this and I'll do your reading just about now. Okay, look at this amazing colourful cloth. Let me just see if I can get it at the right angle. There we go. Ah, you can't see the wonderful dragon. You can just see the eyes, look. Maybe I should bring it up a bit. Maybe I should bring it up a bit. Right, let's have a look. So then, Lavina, I've got to say again, it is the same question week in, week out, but that's okay, my darling. We'll do our best for you. So, okay. So then, Lavina, let's have a wee little look. So, apparently this lovely cloth is available from Lush. It was a birthday present. So thank you very much to Necro Neil for that lovely, bright, vibrant gift. So then, Lavina, I've got the vice versa tarot deck. Now, this tarot deck is very, very, very deep. This will give you, hopefully this will give you a final sort of answer. Right, so then, as always, we cleanse the space with the bell, we bring in Wispy, and then I'm going to shuffle the deck. I do my best not to see the cards, because the wonderful thing about this deck, as I'll show you in a minute, is it is double-sided. So instead of 74, is that right? 70, 52, and no, 56 and 20, 78. Brain. You wouldn't believe I've been doing this 29 years, would you? Wow. This would be my 30th year. Wow. Maybe I need to have a tarot celebration. Maybe I need to have a tarot celebration. So it would be September time when I first picked up my first ever tarot deck. So yeah, it will be 30 years in September. Wow. God, I'm getting old. Anyway, Wispy, Lavina would like to know, what are Aniket's current thoughts for Lavina? What is his feelings? So let's have a look then. And I now cover this up because I don't want to see what the card is on top. And we do the drop. Oh. You can see we've got a very, very low drop. Right then, and as always, 1, 2, 3. Right, so why is this deck such an intense deck? Reason being, each card is double-sided. So you've got the same incident, or the same action, but from 2 different sides. Sometimes it can be from day-night. Sometimes it's literally just what's going on behind. So then, where you are, where Aniket is, what you need to know about where Aniket is and what his feelings are, and the potential future. So you've got the Nine of Wands. Now, I think Aniket is feeling like, I think he's very secure in himself, right? Very secure in himself, very, very self-aware, very confident, very much knows what he wants, knows what he doesn't want, all of that. Yeah, he's very switched on as to what his needs are, and which is fantastic. But that might be why you're not getting any contact from him at the moment, because this isn't somebody who will back off, if that makes sense. This isn't somebody who is easily swayed from their course, because the Nine of Wands is so strong, so defiant. You can see this person has literally been through the wars. They've got their helmet here, which is all dinted and mashed up. They've got a head wound. Their armor is all kinds of battered. There's holes in their uniform underneath, but they've got their fighting pike, or their whatever that would be called, and they are still standing and still staying true. On the flip side, you can see there is somebody there. Now, if it had come up this side, Lavina, there might be a bit of a hope for yourself and the relationship. But this way, I honestly think Aniket is getting on with his life. I think he's just getting on with his life, my darling. What's the sort of the what you need to know about Aniket, right? We got the Knight of Pentacles this way. This way round, it's cold, it's nighttime, blah, blah, blah. This way round, again, it's got a warmer feel. I think Aniket is doing absolutely... this is going to be really horrible for me to say, but I think he's doing absolutely fine without you, my darling. I really do. It feels as if he has moved on. That knight energy, but this horse, look, this is not the knights that we have in some of the other decks. This horse is very calm, isn't rearing up. The rider on there is, this feels very much like after the battle is won, the knight is victorious and is there with his golden shield in the shape of a pentacle. This knight is not worrying about anything. Again, very confident, and the work, career, finances element that this card brings in, it's like he's doing okay. Excuse me. He's doing okay. This knight is not in need of anything right now. So honestly, it feels like with these two cards, it feels like Aniket's off, like, living his best life, to be brutally honest. For those that think I'm being really cruel, Lavina and Aniket split up a while ago, or their relationship isn't active at the moment, but Lavina kind of wants him back, don't you, my darling? What I would say with the Eight of Wands, again, this is the back side of the card. This is the side that's come up for you, my darling, and this is in the future opportunity. Very interesting that we've got the Eight of Wands when the Nine has come up with Aniket. So what it feels like, I always say that this card is where you've taken all of the different elements of your life, right? So you've all the bits that make you happy, that make you confident, you've taken each one of these. So this one could be relationship at not relationship, but how you're seen at work. This could be your confidence with women. This could be confidence in exam situations. This could be ideas about a new project. This, whatever it is, right? All of these things that make up your confidence as a person. And what this person has done, so what Aniket is doing is throwing them all up in the air, right? And then picking and choosing the elements of his life that he wants to move forward with. And the thing is, my darling, in in all honesty, it doesn't feel like Aniket is wanting to pick up that wand, that stick that is Lavina, if that makes sense. It feels very much like he's moved on, and he's kind of decided that for whatever reason, his confidence and his future lies on a different path to yours. And again, my darling, I know it's not something that you want to hear, but again, it feels very much the same as the last few weeks when you've asked a similar sort of question. It feels very much like Aniket is off living his life. And all I can say, my darling, is that in all honesty, I think it's probably time that you maybe look into ways that you can move on and live your life, because it feels like you're very stuck in a cycle where you're always wanting to know what Aniket is doing. Is he coming back to me? Is he doing this? Is he doing that? And I honestly think, my darling, that Aniket's just moved on. It's like, if he thinks about you at all, I don't think it's in particularly loving or even positive ways for the future. It may be that there was that connection in the past, but I don't think that connection is there at the moment, my darling. It feels, especially with this Eight of Wands, it feels very much like Aniket has decided his future. And all I can say, maybe, my darling, is that sometimes, as hard as it is to let somebody go, it is easier than dealing with, becoming a stalker or having an injunction put out against you. So I can't say it any more clear, my darling, but I do honestly think Aniket has moved on, and I hope that you'll be able to do the same in time, my darling. But thank you ever so much for your question, and I do hope that, again, that gives you answers, even if it isn't, the answers that you were looking for today. But thank you. Yeah. Hang on 1 second. Oh, there we go. Oh, I need to just raise that up a little bit and then bring it back so it's just on that edge. Perfect. Right, let me have a little look. See, you're confused because he contacted you to talk to you. Okay. But it's true that he disappeared for some time. We're working on the same. You're working for the same organization. He will come after a break, but in this break too, he is connected. He's talking to you. All I can say, my darling, is if he talks to you, if you work in the same organization and in the same building and he talks to you, it may just be that he's communicated with you on a work basis and not anything else. Because again, for a lot of weeks in, weeks out, it's a very similar sort of question. And you're always getting very similar sort of answers. I think Holland's comment here might actually be worth some merit. It doesn't sound that you're in a very, very healthy place right now. It does sound like either you're a bit stuck with him. He talks more than that, or way more than that, actually. Again, though, is it possible that you've got the wrong end of the stick? Is it possible that you've actually, misread something or misinterpreted something? Because unfortunately that does happen a lot, and that, maybe there's some of that going on. But there's you could see in the cards, there's no cup cards, there's no romance cards, there's nothing there that is hinting at a relationship. But anyway, I do hope that helps. So yeah, thank you for your question. There you go. See what happens when I'm reading the comments. Yes, it is a gorgeous setup. This new altar cloth or tarot cloth was a gift from Neil, as picked out by Neil's wife. So thank you very much to Necro Neil's wife for choosing this. It is beautiful. I love it. And actually, the altar cloth, if I tell you a little secret, so you know how I've been saying for the longest time that Wispy was on the other one. This is very, very similar to how I see Laguna. Laguna, if you don't know, is actually our water dragon. They're a non-binary dragon. They exist as a dragon underwater, and this does have that underwater feel. It's absolutely beautiful with all the colors merging round into from the greens to the blues. I think it is stunning. So thank you very much to Mrs. Necro Neil for choosing it. So yes, thank you very much. Right then, shall I stay on this screen? No, I'm going to pop back to the other one because oh no, hang on, I'm gone altogether then. Where are we? Oh, now I'm on the wrong side. Hang on. Ooh, that was hard work. That was a little bit uncomfortable being on the mirror side. Anyway, thank you, MM. Happy birthday to Lisa. May you have a wonderful year ahead. I hope so. Make your birthday moon wish list. I know, right? We're getting towards a full moon. Well, technically, we're in a waxing crescent as of tomorrow, but we are heading towards a full moon that actually comes like a couple of days after the solstice. This is going to be a very powerful full moon this year. So, yay! Anyway, I think it's time. Should we have another round of readings? Shall we do some more readings? I think we should. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So if you would like a tarot reading, what do you need to do to get a reading? Well, there are two ways. You can send it as a super chat that comes through automatically. It's pretty much guaranteed that you'll be next or the one after. The reason I'm saying that is if we get two super chats at the same time, then I read them in the order they came in. Secondly, the other way to get a reading, look, magically it just changed. The second way to get a reading is to go ahead and pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. And if you do that, I will choose one at random from all of the questions that we get in. Okay, so if we get 10 questions in, you've got a 1 in 10 chance. If we get 3 questions in, it's a 33% chance. Do you get what I mean by that? Hopefully that makes sense. Go ahead and either send it as a super chat or pop your question into the live chat right about now. Just in case my wibbly wobbly timey wimey brain didn't quite make sense of that, here's a handy recap. Okay, right, no more questions. Where's the doodah? Hang on, banners. There it is. Found it. Nope. There we go. Found it. Right then, let me have a look. So, how many questions did we get in? Sajini, thank you for putting it all together. That makes sense. Right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 questions in. So you got a 25% chance. Bet you like those odds, don't you? Right then, let's have a look. I'm closing my eyes and we're clicking on this one. Where's the mouse? Right. I still need to put the little clicky thing that chooses things at random. Anyway, haven't done that yet. That one. HS. Well done, HS. Everybody else, so Sajini, Shivani and Valeria, go ahead and select and copy your questions and get ready for, after this reading for HS, get ready for me to open up another round, okay? So then, let's have a look. What does KJ think of me work-wise or as a friend? He's a colleague, but we're in very different teams. He's probably 10, 15 years senior. Ooh, daddy. What was that?
Oh my.
I haven't had a drink, I promise. 10 to 15 years senior. We used to talk, but now he doesn't interact with you. Oh, my darling. Okay, we'll have a look. We'll have a look. I'll hit this magic button to stop myself from blushing, and your reading will be up straight after this. We have a super strong connection here, right? Oh my God! I don't know if it's better or worse that I was calling Rufus Daddy earlier today. Make of that whatever you will. Anywho, right then, so let's do a proper cleanse. After all the smut, let's do a cleanse. There we go. Wispy, good evening once again to Wispy. By the way, Neil did put a link in the chat there, so if you would like to know more about my dragons, Wispy and Laguna, Scarlet, who's the fire dragon, Tank, who is our earth dragon, and of course the one that started it all, the lovely, lovely Rocky. There we go. Who is our spirit dragon. If you want to know more about my dragons, do please go and check out the podcast that Neil has linked to, or have a look in the description box, and it's just before the page break. So then, Wispy, what does KJ think of HS, either work-wise or as a friend? He's a colleague, but they're in different teams, and he's probably 10 or 15 years senior to HS. They used to talk, but now there's no interaction. So let's have a wee look then. So Wispy, what do we think? What do we think? What do we think? There we go. Let's do your drop. Why do I hide the top card on these? Because, oh, it's going again. Is that it? That's it. Because these are double-sided cards. It's called the vice versa deck. Ooh. So we've got where you are, what you need to know, and what the opportunity or future is like. So we've got Judgment coming in the... Oh, hang on. I need to get my... So in where you are now, we've got Judgment. So this is a very different interpretation of Judgment. As you can see three people, so 2 adults and a child. They're all butt naked. Fortunately, the child has no genitalia. It's actually a Barbie doll. But the 2 adults are covering their nether regions. We've got a skull on the man, and we've got an egg over the woman's bits. You can see in the background we've got these graves, and you can see this hawk or eagle flying over the sun. So it's almost sort of the hawk, the bird's shadow would be cast. However, look at the shadow here. The shadows from these people are moving that way, which means there's a light source here where we would be looking as well. So it's an interesting card. However, for most, Judgment is like this, because Judgment, the card, is talking about the angel calling the lost souls, the passed over souls, the deceased souls for judgment, to be called to actually, you know, atone for your sins, and to look at that balance. What has your life meant up to that point? Now, as a card, this is really interesting coming up on where you are, or where KJ is, and what he's thinking about you. It feels like you are being judged. It feels like there is some sort of element where either you've done something not so much wrong, but done something that was perhaps less approved of, and maybe your work pattern or whatever is being judged a little bit, particularly if he's senior to you in a like departmental rank as well. So if he's actually higher than you within the workplace, he's going to be looking at your work, your skills, your way of doing things, and judging. So there might be something there. It might be a good way actually of approaching him and saying, hey KJ, I've been in the company for blank number of years now, and I'm just wondering, if I wanted to go on a look for promotion, if I wanted to move ahead, what would I need to improve on? So you're kind of asking him in a roundabout way for tips and tricks, and that might help. I think it's always a really good thing, particularly if you've got like a friend relationship, as it says here, not just a colleague. It's really good to try and get that truthful answer and just say, look, I'm really wanting to improve, I'm really wanting to get ahead. What do you think I need to do? So there is definitely you're definitely being judged, absolutely, categorically. You've got in the what you need to know, we've got the 7 of Wands. Now you can see this side round looks a lot warmer than this side round. The 7 of Wands, 7s are questions, difficult decisions that you've got to make in life. Now again, we're asking what KJ thinks of you. So there is something here, I think, without being told, I think you've done something that KJ might not be entirely happy with. I don't think you've fucked up completely, to be honest, but it just feels like there is a little bit of like a proper bit of judgment going on. Do you know what I mean? There's like I don't know, it could be the way you are on the telephone with clients or customers, right? And it may well be that you are really friendly, really chatty, but KJ doesn't think that, being able to go, oh, hi, Kevin Williams. Oh, hi, Kev. Yeah, look, I've got your case results here. Yeah, no, actually, how was your weekend? Oh, I had a really good weekend, actually, Kev. Yeah, I went out with some mates, had a few drinks, had a really good pizza, actually. But, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, so it can't have been that good. But no, a bit of a hangover. So you're having this really chatty relationship with a client that KJ thinks not very professional, is it? You should be talking about, I don't know, whatever. And all HS is talking about is bloody pizza and going out and getting drunk. I don't think that's very professional. Do you know what I mean? So it might be something like that, where it's just almost a personality clash within the workplace. But the 7 of Wands, confidence comes with Wands, but the 7 is difficult choices. So I think there is something here that you've done or not done, conversely, that is almost holding you back a little bit. Does that make sense? It's almost stopping you from shining your brightest light in the workplace or as a friend. In the outcome and future opportunity, we've got the 3 of Cups. Now, this is a beautiful card to come in, because Cups is that emotional suit. So it can be romance, but it can also be like friendship and having all of that warm, positive feeling coming in. The 3 is, I always say, it's when you've had a connection and you take that connection further. So it's when you choose to have babies together, or you get a pet together, or go into business together, whatever it is, it's that next step. Now, this doesn't mean that you and KJ are going to, rock out a load of kids. But what this is it's talking about moving things forward and bringing things into a much more pleasant way of being. So I do think you need to have a conversation with KJ. And I do think it's got a really positive outcome. It's just that you need to find a way to get there. Because it does feel like whatever this judgment is, it feels like it's misplaced. I've got to say that. It really does feel like it's misplaced. Unless you're embezzling, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars or whatever from the company. It feels that this judgment isn't fair almost. But by having some sort of conversation, it will clear the air and be able to have the two of you move on in a much better way, particularly with a more solid friendship, put it that way. Hopefully that helps, my darling. I really do hope it helps. It does feel like his opinion of you is a bit low at the moment, but also I don't think that's anything to do with you, if that makes sense. I think it's something that, you know, you're being judged without your knowledge on, and probably quite unfairly. So I would definitely have that conversation. Look, how do I move forward in this company? Could I ask your advice? Could I pick your brain? Anyway, I hope that helps, my darling. Thank you ever so much for your question. And yeah, let us know how things go. Right then, let's have a look back at the live chat. So then, I think like 4 is literally, that's the person, that's the 4th like we've got on the video. If you're watching this on the live stream, please do the YouTubey thing. So if you haven't already, please do give this video a thumbs up and hit that like button. I know every YouTuber says it, but it really does help little channels out. And we are what's classed as a nano channel. We're so tiny, we're barely a speck on YouTube's radar, not even a speck. So a like would be really lovely, actually. It really does help the channel. Also, while you're there, you could hit that subscribe button and then ding your bell, so that YouTube then notifies you when we go live. So there's a chance, depending on what the mods are doing, I may well be going live this Thursday evening at 11:45 UK time for a couple of hours. And obviously I'll be back on Tuesday evening at 7 PM UK time. So it helps keep you informed of all of that. But I will also be recording some videos about tarot and a new podcast episode this next coming couple of weeks as well. So if you want to be notified, do make sure you hit the subscribe and dong your bell. So yes, could we possibly have a like spike? Do you reckon we could do that now? I reckon we've got 10 or 12 or 15. So I reckon we could have a like spike. Hit that like button if you haven't done already. Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. And then thank you very much for hitting that like button. That is really lovely of you. Thank you very much. Yes. Could somebody tell me how many likes we've got on the front end, please? That would be really lovely. I agree. I agree. Nothing romantic. I do think he could be a help in the corporate life. And I reckon, yeah, go and do that. You don't know what to make of that. I don't know what that is. Good evening, Miss Heavy. Hold off a second. I'm just about to open a round. You don't have any that's fine. Honestly, if you were chatty to each other before, then the reason to go and speak to him is because you would like his advice. You don't have to have a relationship right now. You don't have to be on the same project or anything else. Literally being able to go, hello. Can I ask you what time are you at lunch? Because I've got a question I'd like to run past you. Just do that. That's all you need to do. Yep, that's all you need to do. Anyway, let's go ahead and do you know what? I'm going to play this, and then when I'm back, we'll open up another tarot round. So, actually, I'm going to hit this one.
Lisa is such a good tarot reader. I've experienced that for myself because Lisa's read for me quite a few times. But as a mod on her channel, I've also seen loads of times when people have said things like, oh yeah, that really resonates, or that's exactly it, you've hit the nail on the head. And because she doesn't sugarcoat, she just tells it like it is. It can really be quite an emotional and cathartic experience because they're not just being told what they want to hear, they're being told, as she says it, what you need to know. So I definitely recommend her. It's a really good idea to sign up for one of her memberships because they're such good value. You can be part of private live streams that take place before the main ones. And then you're in a much smaller group of people, so you're not competing with all these other people to get a reading. And it's also just a chance to chat with other like-minded people who have that kind of spirituality.
Yes, indeed. And thank you so much to Holland M for doing that. Holland is one of our lovely moderators here on the channel that basically keep this channel running. I know, right? I'm the rather ugly mug in front of the camera, but the moderators do all of the work, keeping everything nice and safe for everybody. So then, let's go ahead and open that round. If you would like a tarot reading, there are 2 ways to get one. Here's how to go about it. Yes, indeed. Let's have a little look in the live chat. So I've got 2 questions in. Yay! So Miss Hay, I need to put my glasses on. I can't read. This is where you know you're getting old. Right then. So Miss Hay and Valeria Ortiz. Right. So you know what this means. If you are new here, then you know exactly what is about to happen. We've got 2 questions in, which means we must settle it the old-fashioned way. In a duel to the death. No, in a talisman toss. Yes, indeed. So, what is a talisman toss, I hear you ask? It is the toss of a talisman. It's a bit like tossing a coin, but you know, we are witchy folk on this channel, so we don't do anything normal. We like to involve. Oh, look, this is perfect. So we've got the water elemental sign. So this is the sign for water, the inverse triangle. You can see we've got some splashes and some waves as well. Look at that. And on the back, it says witch casket and water. It's particularly suitable for today's tarot cloth. Look at that cloth that I was bought. Isn't it wonderful? So then, with a talisman toss, what we do is we pick the question at random by tossing the talisman. So it's always the same way. So Miss Hay, your question came in first, so you get the sigil sign, the symbol, and Valeria Ortiz, you get the writing side, which says water and the witch casket logo, because these came from the witch casket subscription boxes. So then I'm going to put my hand just here so that we don't, in theory, it doesn't roll everywhere around the floor. So then, best of luck. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, it is the water side up. So, Miss Hay, your question is up. So, let's have a look. O's feelings and actions towards you in the future. And happy birthday. Oh, thank you. Those mods.
Happy birthday!
Those mods have been telling everybody. I was like, shh, we won't mention it. And they've been telling everybody throughout today. Valeria Ortiz, my darling, go ahead and select your question. This one here. Select and copy that question and be ready to put it into the next free round. So then, Valeria. Nope. So then, Miss Hay. That's the one I'm looking for. Let's have a look. So we're going to ring the bell and cleanse the energy. And then we're going to bring in Wispy, who is my air elemental dragon. So Wispy is the one that goes off to the Akashic Records and gets all of that lovely knowledge for us that then somehow gets deposited in my brain. I still don't know how it works, but you know, it does. So then, Wispy, Miss Hay would like to know O's feelings and actions towards them in the future. And happy birthday, Wispy. I know, right? you get to revel in it as well, Wispy. Go on. You can revel in the birthday wishes as well. So then, that's a good shuffle. And we're going to do your drop. So we're cutting the cards there. Yep, they don't seem to want to move. And, right, so to explain, this deck has two sides. And when a card is reversed, we disregard that to a certain extent, because as I say, oh look, and it's got my favorite card. As I say, this is double-sided, so you've got one side and then you've got the other side. And so a little bit like in a standard deck, the reverse meaning has a different meaning. With this card, the reverse meaning still has a bit of a different meaning, but it's different to the one on the front to the back, if that makes sense. So we always lay the cards down in the same way. So first of all then, let's have a look. What are O's feelings and actions towards you? So we'll go with the where you are, what you need to know, and what is coming up. So then, we've got the Empress coming up in the where you are. Now, the Empress is my favorite tarot card for a reason. She's all about abundance. She's all about love. She's all about family. She's about growth. She's about nurturing and loving positive energy, not just for the people around her, but for her community, her country, her planet. She's all about that bond, that firm bond between ourselves, our spiritual selves, and our earthly selves, and the planet itself. So you can see here, this is a very different depiction of the Empress, in that she's quite young here. She looks like a maiden. She's dressed in white, but she is still very much that Empress figure. On the back, you can see, we can just see the throne. And is this representing the Yggdrasil? Probably, which is the tree of life. You've got death marked here with a skull. However, we can disregard all of that because we've got the Empress. So this is saying where you are. I think that O thinks of you very warmly. Basically, if this is where you're at right now, I think O has very warm feelings. Maybe not passionate sort of romance and tons of, you know, passionate love and passion, but the thing that the Emperor gives is the Empress gives is security, hugs, that feeling of a place where you belong. All of those really positive things, you know, the things that ideally you'd get from parental figures, but actually a lot of us don't get that from our parental figures. This idea of like, oh, there's a word I'm looking for and it's just deleted itself from my brain. Unconditional. Thank you very much, brain. Unconditional love, unconditional acceptance. That's what the Empress is giving. So the fact that O is perhaps seeing you that way feels really good, right? That's a good start for something. What you need to know, we've got the Knight of Swords, so this could be O's energy at the moment. So swords is trouble and strife, challenges, obstacles, hurdles, those things that we need to overcome. Knights are that rebellious teenage energy. So this is a little bit of a rebellion going on, particularly because, look, we could have this side where it feels more, you know, heading home. This side, it feels like we're heading into the storm, into the clouds, into the lightning. And it feels a lot more angry, if that makes sense. So I think there is definitely some issues with O at the moment under the surface. Maybe there's been a disagreement. Maybe there's it's giving teenage post-puberty kind of stroppiness, if that makes sense. Unfortunately, when we've got the future opportunity card, we've also got swords, but this isn't quite as bad. This is the Five of Swords. Now, fives are about decisions and realizing that things may not be quite as they seem. So you can see here, this deck, is this person about to be beheaded? Are they going to get chopped off? I'm sorry for fighting you, my lord. No worries, I am the handsome Prince Charming, and doesn't he look like Prince Charming from Shrek? But anyway, it's like the victor, the loser in the battle, but the loser gets to walk away. The victor isn't actually as rash and as cutthroat as you might first think. And what this is coming down to is, I think in the future there is some difficult decisions for O to make about where their life is headed, because these, although they're both swords, they're coming from two very different perspectives. And I think that thank you, Ed, I've just read your message. I think that this card is a lot more, it kind of has some compassion, it kind of has that element of humanity that the Empress has. So it feels almost like O wants to be more like you and more accepting, more compassionate, more friendly, more of a people person than they may be currently. It doesn't feel like there's a massive amount of romance, but it does feel like you're a very positive role model almost. Yeah, I hope that helps. I'm not quite sure what the connection between you and O is, but it does feel like, if we were to lay more cards this way into the future, it feels like there will be a stronger and stronger connection, because I do think the way that the cards are falling, I do think O really admires you in a lot of ways right now. Maybe not in the sexy time ways, but very much there is definitely a positive vibe about this card. And I'm not biased because it's my favorite either. But anyway, I hope that helps, my darling, and thank you ever so much for your question. Right, let's go back into the live chat. There we go. You've just had a fight. It was a romantic connection. Right. That's interesting. That's interesting. Because the Empress card is not normally a card that you would associate with sexual passion. So that is really interesting. But it does feel like wherever you're headed, it does feel like that is going that way. It feels very, very positive. So if you're looking for a reconciliation, it does feel between this, was he a bit of a dick? Was O a bit of a dick? Did they kind of act out and throw their dummy out the pram? Because it kind of feels a little bit like that, which would then mean to the whole, oh, I'm kind of sorry, I didn't really mean to do that. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I hope that helps. Shivani, thank you very much for the super chat. I will do that next. In fact, I will do that very, very shortly. No problem, Miss Hay. I do hope that helps. Right then, Shivani, I haven't got your question in, so you'll have to go ahead and do me a favor, Shivani. Just type your question again, my darling, and pop it into the live chat, because it doesn't automatically save the questions, unfortunately. So if you pop your question into that there live chat, then I'll be able to read for you next. In the meantime, I'm just going to hit this. Shivani, pop your question into the live chat for me, darling, and I'll read it straight after this. Yes, indeed. Our memberships are up and running. Thank you so much to everybody who is helping to support the channel at the moment with the memberships. They are absolutely amazing. So thank you very much for those. Yes, he was a bit of a dick. Yeah, I thought so. Thought so. That's the night energy coming into play. Shivani, you did a super chat, but you're unable to see it. I've got your super chat there, my darling. So it's there. There's no question though. I need your question, my sweet. So if you can pop your question in, we've definitely got your super chat. We just need your question. Because it doesn't let me go very far back in the chat. So pop your question into the chat, my darling, Shivani, and I'll get to that as soon as it's in the chat. So as soon as you type it, my darling, I'll be able to read for you. In the meantime, I do have to say that we are possibly, depending on the mods, possibly going to do another late night stream this coming Thursday. Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Patricia. Is it the question you asked before, Shivani? Because I've got a question that says you wanted to know if your married life would be emotionally fulfilling or very draining. You're getting married this year. Is that your question? Thank you, Patricia. Is that the question, Shivani, that you're wanting answered? So, yeah. Super chats are visible, my darling, but you've got to put the question in. So when you send a super chat, that's come up as a super chat, but the question's not there. Is this your question, Shivani? Is that what you want to know? Because if it is, I can go ahead and read that one for you. As I was just saying, in fact, what was I just saying? My brain just did a brain fart. I can't remember what I was just saying. I just need you to confirm, Shivani, that is the... Oh, yes, that is the question that you want answered. So what I was saying was we may well be doing a late night stream. So it would start at 11:45 UK time and go for a couple of hours until about 2 a.m. UK time. Now, the reason we've been adding a few of these in randomly is because for us, it's quite late at night. But also... for those of you in the US and in other places around the world that are on a very different timeline to us here in the UK, it just makes it accessible to you as well. So do keep an eye out. The easiest way to get notified when we go live on one of those is to press your bell, ding your bell, sorry, and change your settings to all. Shivani, it is right. So is this your question on the screen, Shivani? Is this your question on the screen? Because I've got your question on the screen. I don't know what to do just in case Shivani decides that that wasn't the question and that she wanted another one. But yes, indeed. Do make sure, by the way, that I tell you what, I'm going to hit this. Let's give Shivani 30 seconds to reset.
YouTube tarot reader Lisa Lee has been found using bad language during her twice weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Let's have a look. Shivani, is this the correct question, my darling? Is this the right question? I know it's not your picture, but is this the right question? Yes. Right. Okay. We've got you. Fantastic. Fantastic. We've got Shivani in. So let's just hope I haven't lost that one. No, I haven't. Absolutely fantastic. Right. So then, let's have a look. I'm going to go straight across to the card cam. There we go. And let's do the usual gubbins. So as always, we ring the bell to cleanse the space. There we go. And we're bringing in Wispy. So then, Wispy, Shivani would like to know, will her married life be as emotionally fulfilling, or will it be very draining? She's getting married later this year. So is her marriage... Oh, did you see the card we had jump? Right. So, Shivani, do not be afraid of this card, okay? This is your clarifying card, and the fact that this has come up is a good thing, right? This card is all about connections, material connections, physical connections, okay? So you can see here we've got this couple that are linked together. You can see the chain here is linking them together. This quite often reflects marriage, okay? So it's saying that this is a very, very strongly linked marriage. You've also got this element where the devil is in the details, okay? So I think there's going to be a lot going on with the marriage and with the wedding as a whole. What I would say is make sure that everything is worked out in advance. Okay, so whether that is whether there is a dowry, whether there is a prenuptial agreement, whether there is an arrangement where you're both moving into a particular house or you're getting a new house or whatever it is, make sure all of that is pre-planned, okay? And especially like even leading up to the wedding itself, just make sure the people that are going to do the catering are able to do the catering. Do you know what I mean? Because this is literally the devil is in the details. Now, what I will say is that you can kind of ignore the fact that it's the devil. It actually is talking about materialism, because do I have my coaster? Yes, I do. So just on here, you can see this way up, the star is representing spirit above earth, air, fire, water, right? So spirit is above. When it's this way, that looks like evil. People think it's evil. It isn't. What this is representing is the physical needs of earth, air, fire, water, whichever way round, above the spiritual needs. Okay, so this is talking about maybe you two as a couple, the physical relationship is more important than the spiritual relationship. And when I say physical relationship, I'm not just talking about a sexual relationship. I'm talking about how the two of you are living together, if you're having children, living under the same roof, all of those sorts of things that is looking at, okay? Do you have enough money for food, for blah, blah, blah? All of that comes under that. But not to worry, because this is your clarifying card. So it just gives us a lens to look at through your reading, okay? So I'm going to do the drop, a very low drop. Nope. Any more? Nope. Okay. So we've got the Hermit. So we'll do, I'll tell you what, we'll do a deep V. Wispy, we're doing a deep V, an inverted triangle. So we've got the Hermit, the 5 of Cups, and the 3 of Cups. And then linking the Hermit to the 5 of Cups, we've got the Empress. Linking the 5 of Cups to the 3 of Cups, we've got the Chariot. We will have the Chariot. And linking the Empress and the Chariot, look at the beautiful blue skies in the background here. We've got the Star. So, interesting. So then, let's have a look. So I'm going to pull these down slightly because there's a reflection on that one. There you go. So where you are now, we've got the Hermit. So the Hermit, when it's this way, is literally talking about it feels like you're friends to a lot of creatures. Okay, some of those humans, some of those not. It feels very much like you're quite well known, but not necessarily out with friends all the time. It feels like you might be a little bit of a loner, but the Hermit itself is actually a really positive card because it's talking about wanting to gain knowledge. And sometimes in life you have to separate yourself to get the knowledge. And you can see here that lantern is lit with knowledge, and we've got the lantern here. This makes it feel very lonely. This is saying, look, the Hermit isn't alone. There's lots of animals and lots of life around the Hermit. So it feels really positive that even though sometimes you might end up being on your own at the moment, it's actually, you actually do have friends and people around you. You just need to reach out to them. In the what you need to know, we've got the 5 of Cups. So if your fiance has done something wrong, if not, give him a chance. He will do. He's a man. I'm sorry. Yes, that's sexist, but you know, it's true. So I can say that more than most. Do you know what I mean? So we've got this person looking at these 3 cups of wine that have been knocked over and thinking, oh, I don't have any more wine to drink. Oh, not realizing that just behind them there are 2 more cups that are still there. So this is talking about not worrying about the small things, because things are never as bad as they seem. Okay, so in this position of what you need to know, things are never as bad as they seem. Your question, is marriage going to be very draining? That feels like you're quite worried. I think this is a reminder to you that, look, it's not going to be as bad as you think, right? There's always silver linings to those clouds. Even though you've knocked over 3 glasses of wine, there's 2 more here. The end of the world is not happening. Do you know what I mean? This is not a catastrophe. Things can still work out. Again, the devil here in the details. There are still things, even if everything seems to go a bit pear-shaped, there are still ways for things to work out. So I do think it's quite a positive card between you. Then we've got the 3 of Cups. So if you're wanting children, you know, this looks very...
Oh my.
It looks very positive if you're wanting to have children. Because as I said earlier, Cups is your romantic side. 3 is when you bring other things into the marriage. Now again, I'm not talking about a throuple. I'm talking about, for people that want children, this is children are highlighted. So this is bringing children into the marriage, either through adoption or through, you know, having babies. If you don't want kids, this card is representative of having pets, fur babies that you're going to commit to looking after for 15, 16 years. Or, you know, longer. We've got some blue-tongued skinks that are probably going to live 20, 30 years. Or tortoise that might live 100+ years. Do you know what I mean? This is about taking that next step as a family, and whatever that family means for you, my darling. In the connections, these 3 next cards are major arcana cards. These are big, important cards. So first of all, linking the Hermit with that search for wisdom to the 5 of Cups, that being the emotional side, we've got once again the Empress, my favorite card in any tarot deck. And this again is talking about warmth, abundance, loving familial energy. So if you are wanting to take on that matriarch role, to have that, you know, you're the person that people come to for advice, you're the person that is always caring and loving, and if that is your desire for your future, we've got it in spades. The other thing about the Empress is that it's abundance. So not necessarily poverty. You're talking about having enough money, enough food, a big enough house. Do you know what I mean? You may not be mega wealthy, but you're always going to be relatively comfortable. And that is a bloody amazing card to have in this area, because it's linking your energy with your husband energy. And then we've got the Chariot. So it feels like you're going on a journey here. Now, this could be a physical journey, but I reckon it's more of a spiritual one, where it feels like the two of you are going to be kind of bonded and linked for quite a period of time. It doesn't feel like this marriage is going to be over in a couple of years. It really does feel like you're going to grow together, because look at the stars here. Look at the stars here. We've got this deep connection going on between the Empress and the Chariot. It's like you're going to move on, but also as a couple you're gonna move forward, particularly because this one is linking the Three of Cups. So it's linking this connection with that children card coming in. And then right at the bottom, this is a slight warning, but we do have the Star. Now, I often say that the Star is wishful thinking. It's wishing on a star. And a star is very different to a... Thank you, Patricia. A star is a wish is very different to a goal. But you've got this amazing connection here with this star energy. And this is talking about, it's not just from a star. You can see this embodiment of spirituality. The stars, the streaking stars in the sky, and this element of spirituality and that sense of something deeper. And this is the root of your cards, of your connection. So it feels very much like you're asking, is your relationship going to be emotionally fulfilling? I think it will be, my darling. You've got the Empress, which is that epitome of emotional fulfillment. You've got the Star, keeping it kind of real in this case, but bringing in that spiritual connection. And you've got the Chariot for growth, leading you back towards the Three of Cups for that family, that strong family element. Okay, the Devil is in the details. The Devil also connects couples together for life. The idea is literally, if you see on this card, you can see they're chained for life. Okay, obviously in a wedding that's probably not going to take place, you know, in exactly that way. You're probably not going to put a metal collar on each other and chain yourself together, but if you do, you know, you do you. But there you are. I hope that helps, my darling. It feels incredibly positive, and thank you very much for your super chat. And yeah, again, thank you very much to Patricia for saving the question. So I hope that helps. Right then, I've got 2 super chats in from Annie and MM. So it is time for this banner. Oh, come on. Why is it not working? There we go. Please do not send any more super chats. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do any more super chat readings tonight. If there is time at the end, I may be able to squeeze in another free round of the 3 card readings. We'll see how things go. But please don't send any more super chats. If you send a super chat now, I will just consider it a birthday gift, if that's okay, because it is actually my birthday.
Happy birthday!
I know, right? I've even shall we play the video very quickly? Shall I play the little video that I play for everybody else? I think I should. Go on. I'm going to pretend that I am now a viewer. Happy birthday to me. I know, right? So then let's have a wee look. Annie, I've got your question in. By the way, oh, hang on 1 second. By the way, Shivani, when the wedding is, we can attend via Zoom. We'd like to go to do a wedding, please. If you could invite us by Zoom, then we can wish you very well, good, positive regards, and we get to wear hats. At this rate, Patricia, it's going to be the only wedding we're getting invited to. Do you know what I mean? But we can do it by Zoom. Zoom calls. Yeah, we can do it by Zoom. Anyway, Annie, my darling, let's have a look. So, as always, we need to change the wonderful to the card cam. And we're bringing in the cleansing energy from the bell. If you wonder why I ring the bell, I tend to do 3 spins, and we use that to cleanse the energy from the reading before, because the vibration of the bells does wonderful things for cleansing energy. So it basically makes the rest of the energy just dissipate. Is there a scientific explanation for that? Yes, there is. It's called quantum mechanics. And I stand by that. Eventually, science will catch up with magic. And then we'll all be like, oh, that was really crap. So then, Wispy, will A reconcile with Annie, and how is he feeling about them? How is A feeling about Annie? Let's have a look. Okay, so then, let's do your cuts. Oh, I could have just done it like that every time. Hang on, is that all of it? No, it's going again. It's going there. I could feel that. I could feel that last one kind of going. Go on then. Right then. So we'll do. Is he going to reconcile? So we're looking really at a relationship reading. So I'm just looking on my board. Which one would fit the best? I'll tell you what. We will do what you want, what A wants, and what your relationship future may have. No, Wispy, I'm changing it. Wispy, we're going to do what Annie wants, what A wants, what A's feeling, sorry, and what A wants from the relationship. Okay, so what Annie wants, what A is feeling, and what A wants from the relationship. So that gives us like in the future. Right, so what Annie wants. The 6 of Swords, really? Oh, thank you, Rufus. Oh, that looks lovely. I thought you did. Thank you. Look, I've got a lovely cup of birthday coffee. Birthday coffee. Oh, do you want to... Well, 1 second. Rufus, just into this microphone. Do you want to sing me the birthday song?
It's the birthday song. It does go on and on. 'Cause it's the birthday song. Happy birthday.
Yeah. So, we've got the birthday song. It does go on and on. Because it's the birthday song. And it does go on and on. Because it's the birthday song. And we just sing that on each other's birthdays until we get annoyed at each other. Bless him. Anyway, so this is what Annie wants. This is what A is looking for, and or is A's feeling, sorry, and this is what A wants. Linking that, we've got the connection between what Annie wants and what A is feeling, between what A is feeling and what A wants, and the root of it. Right, I am very aware there are lots of reversed cards. So we are trusting, Wispy, that you are doing the cards with this deck, because this deck is actually double-sided. So I am trusting that, as always with this deck, Wispy, that I don't need to read the reversals as well as the double meanings. So let's have a look, Annie, what you're looking for. Possibly a way back. Oh, what's happened to that card? Possibly a way back. So I don't know what's happened, but the 6 of Swords it feels like you're trying to move beyond some arguments and some disagreements, right? But I don't know whether you can see here, you're actually taking them with you, because look at these swords. Can you see? They're attached to the boat. So it's like there's something fundamental here that as you're trying to move beyond what the argument was, it keeps coming back to that. It keeps coming back to that level of disagreement, basically. So whatever's happened, it just feels like, actually, like, how can I put it? It feels like the scars from that disagreement are always going to be there. So as much as you want to move beyond and you want to, you know, learn the lessons from whatever happened, whatever those challenges were, you want to be at the point where you've learnt the lessons. It's like you're still taking some of that drama, trauma, some of that with you, some of that ill feeling. In terms of what A is feeling, we've got another 6. This is the 6 of Pentacles. Interesting, you're both pulling up 6s. 6s are about community and a lot of people around you. So the 6 of Pentacles is looking more at a large amount of effort, a large amount of work. And so I've also got to say it. You can see here, this person has turned their back. They're looking away from us. In fact, both of these people are as well. And so is the star. So it does feel as if it's almost... I don't think it's necessarily too late for a reconciliation, but it does feel as if we're getting towards that point. Does that make sense? Because you've got the 6 of Swords, so I'm wondering whether there was something that maybe you instigated that backfired. The 6 of Pentacles, the way A is looking at the relationship is that it's a lot of work. A lot of work, a lot of balls to be juggling in the air, a lot of kind of public issues. So whether or not that is around family or friends and community, it feels like there was a lot of effort there. And then when we get to what A is wanting, we've got the star. And so this is what they're wanting about the relationship and everything else. Again, the star has got her back towards us. There is an element here about wishful thinking, because that always comes up with a star for me. So there is maybe an idea of, if we could go back in time and change the things that happened, then, I wish things could have ended differently. But it's also, as I say, on this side, there's this sort of spiritual element that comes in with this side of the star, which is that, you know, when people in ancient times looked up at the sky, they mapped out all these different things that the stars were doing, and now we call them constellations, and there's, you know, the study of astrology all around that. That level of spirituality with the star, I think, is deep, and this is pointing that out. So it's almost like A is wanting to possibly have had this not happen, whatever this fallout was. They're, you know, wishing that hadn't happened, but not necessarily enough to go back and to have a reconciliation at this time. Reason being, on the deeper level, you can see we've got the 2 of Swords linking the two of you. Whatever this is, it still feels very raw. The 2 of Swords is literally a couple being split apart. So if you think of crossed swords, cross words, there's this element of a disagreement. We've got a blindfold on, so you're unable to see things from each person's perspective, and you've just got this feeling, look how choppy the waters are, look at the lightning, look at the storm, this is still going on. If it had come up this way, there might be hope. Okay, this way the waters have calmed after the storm. You can see this person's now left with wet hair, the clouds have dissipated. This way around, look at it. You can see this is still in in the midst of a wild screaming storm. So that is saying that I think there is still massive ill feelings between you, especially when we go from what A is feeling to what A wants. Because the Knight of Swords, Knights are teenage rebellious energy. They're the energy that acts first, thinks later. Do the thing, then ask permission or forgiveness. Do you know what I mean? No, do the thing, ask forgiveness is easier than asking for permission. The Knight of Swords are people that go in all guns blazing. They do not fear the reaction. And you've got, again, this side where we've got the storm, which again is telling me it's still very fresh. This side, it's after this. Look, if you had both of these cards coming up, see how different they feel. Like, this is after the storm. The clouds are starting to part in the sky. The birds are flying again. But we've still got a massively choppy storm and this knight about to ride into it. It almost feels like she's sat there, like at one end of the country, or not one end of the country, but you know what I mean? She sat there on the shore side, waiting as the sea's coming in, and he's a little bit inland and he can see the storm coming. It kind of gives you that vibe. But that is where the two of you are linking, is all storms. But it does feel, in all honesty, that I think because we've got the Four of Wands at the root of it, it feels like there was some complacency crept into the relationship, because the fours are about stability. Okay, so for me, the fours are literally about things standing still. We've also got a slight element here in that we've got this, almost this embodiment of Pan. And so you can see we've got this, is it a lover's seat? Is it a little discreet area? Because we've got this horn here. Is this filled with wine? A certain impish element going on. So even though we've got the stability, it feels like maybe somebody looked outside of the marriage, or outside of the relationship. Maybe somebody had a little look to see what was available. It feels that although things seemed stable, either they had got maybe a bit dull, or that stability wasn't always what was wanted. In all honesty, my darling, I don't think there is a reconciliation at this point. It feels very much like the emotions are still incredibly raw, and that with the three main cards with their backs to us, and the two cards that have their faces towards us, these are both going through storms and they're bringing that sword energy. It really doesn't feel like a reconciliation is literally on the cards right now. Maybe down the line where there's been some time to heal, but right now, my darling, it doesn't feel like that is going to be an option. I'm really sorry. I know that's probably not the answer that you were hoping for, but all I can say, my darling, is that, we can only see with the cards maybe a couple of months down the line before things get really blurry. So it could well be that if you both kind of are able to heal a little bit, so it could well be that there is a little hope further down the line. But for right now, my darling, I would not be holding my breath for that. And again, I hope that helps, and I'm sorry that I'm not able to give you a happier answer, but thank you very much for your super chat. Right then, let me just have a look in the live chat, because I don't have the live up when I do it. Can you see the future outcome? Yeah, I think, is it over? I think it's over for now, Annie, right? So I'm not saying forever, because again, people change and situations change, but it does very much feel like it's the close of a chapter for now. When I'm saying for now, there's nothing in the cards that hints at it being, a temporary separation. It really does feel like that star coming up in the future position. It really does feel like that is the ultimate wishful thinking of there being a reconciliation. I don't think there is right now. I think if you can find a way to remain civil and maybe find a way to move forward and heal a little bit, then there's always a possibility. But for now, my darling, I wouldn't hold my breath on I would maybe take some time out, lick your wounds, think about, you know, what went wrong in the relationship on, you know, for both of you, and then maybe to move forward like that. But yeah, I really do hope that helps. And thank you ever so much for your question, Annie. Right then, let me have a little look. We've got MM, my darling. Right, I am going to... That's amazing. It just sounded like the crow flapped its wings. Honestly, it was the candle going out, and it, you know, and it just, it literally went, which is why I was like, oh, what's happening? The crow's alive. It's alive. Right then, MM, I'm going to do your reading up next. Before I do, I'm going to hit this magic button. I'm going to take a big old slurp of the coffee that my wonderful husband just brought me in. Yes, indeed. Our members only space here on YouTube. We do a free, a members only, live stream each and every Sunday evening at 6 p.m. UK time. Also, the members will be getting free access to other videos as they get recorded and uploaded. So you'll get access at least a day early. And in terms of the podcasts, you'll get a slightly less edited version. So if you would like to either hear all the gaffes that I make, or just have it warts and all, then pretty much that's what you'll be getting as well as a members only perk, as well as you get the lovely doodah. You get the doodahs in the chat. Absolutely. The doodahs are real. They are absolutely 100% in the chat. Mods, if you want to add some doodahs in so that people don't think I've just lost my mind, that would be lovely. So then, I'm bringing up the little crow there. Look at the little crow. So, let's have a look at your question. What is the best way to navigate my next few months ahead? Thank you. I love this question, because it isn't about just a, it's your birthday, I'm an omelette. It's your birthday, I'm an omelette. It's your birthday. I'm an omelette. Don't know what that is. Never heard of that. It is the birthday song. It does go on and on. It isn't very long, but it is the birthday song. It does go on, and so on and so forth. Anyway, let's have a look. So, as always, I'm going to do that again. There we go. Come on, Wispy. Last reading for tonight. What is the best way for to navigate the next few months ahead? Generally speaking, we only see a couple of months into the future clearly. So after that, you might have to come back in a couple of months' time. But let's throw all the cards around. That doesn't count as a modifying card because all the cards flipped. I know, right? All the cards went everywhere. So then, Wispy, we're going to do... yeah. We're going to do, Wispy, we're going to do a... Oh, what spread should we use for this? What spread should we use for this? The best way to navigate the next couple of months. Let's look at... I'll tell you what, we're going to do the 7-card horseshoe. There we go, Wispy. 7-card horseshoe. I know you like this one. 7-card horseshoe. That's what we're going to do for Eminem. Not Eminem. Right, is that a flip? I think that's a flip. Right then. Ace of Cups on the... Oh, why did I do that? Let's do that. Ace of Cups on the bottom side. Hang on. There you are. Ace of Cups at night. This beautiful Aphrodite fountain. That's what she looks like in the daytime. Pretty much the same. But at nighttime, look at the starry sky. Look how beautiful that is. And can you see? Look here. Look at this person coming to gaze upon her beauty and make some wishes in Aphrodite's fountain. Anyway, Ace of Cups. So it does feel there is a romantic situation or the beginning of an emotional connection coming up in the next couple of months. So if there is a relationship that you're working on, or if there is, you know, somebody that you've met or you've got an interest in, that's going to go again. Right. Okay. It really does feel like there is some really positive elements there. So then let's do your 7 card. So we've got, the 10 of Cups, the Fool. I'm going to write these as we go around because it makes it easier, especially with this deck where we don't really count the reversals as such. So P-P-I-O O-A-A-O. The star again. Interesting. Right, there we go. Keep that side upright. There we go. So then, if you're wondering why I go PPIO and all of that stuff, it's because it's past, present, influence, obstacle, awareness, advice, and outcome. So PPIOAAO. It's how I remember it. I know, right? So, and it's worked for 29 years, so I'm not about to change it now. Anyway, in the recent past, we've got the 10 of Cups. So this feels, again, it feels really positive. You have got this, hang on, I need to get that up. It does feel that, hang on, sorry, brain, there we go. It does feel that either you've had a massive relationship or you found that special person, or it's maybe there was a love that didn't quite come to fruition. Because again, look, we've got this same Aphrodite's fountain. Look at that. So we've got this same fountain, and that's obviously the flip side of the card, but we've got this same fountain, but now the cups are emptied. So it could well be that there was a relationship there, and that the relationship unfortunately it didn't pan out, if that makes sense. So yeah, it does feel as if there is something there in the past that you're still healing from, particularly with this Ace of Cups coming in now. In the present, we've got the Fool. Now, please don't think this is you being foolish. The Fool is about starting a new journey. Can we just say the Ace here? Look. So a new journey is incredibly positive. You can see this version of the Fool is less likely to blindly walk off the cliff. But we've got this element. We've got the King's Crown. We've got a golden goblet just discarded, because this is not the first time round for this Fool. So basically the story of the tarot card starts at the 0 card, which this is. So the Fool is neither positive nor negative. And throughout the cards, the Fool meets the Magician. Then it meets the High Priestess, the Empress. And so we go down the major arcana with the Fool learning new knowledge and new ways of being, new ways of thinking from each of the other cards, until we get to the World, at which point the Fool has learnt everything, steps through the portal, ends up somewhere new and starts again. So it really does feel like this is a time of refresh for you, a time of starting over. Now, as I said, this Fool is not on its first journey. This fool has been around that journey at least once, because you can see they're not randomly falling off the cliff. They're not making those same mistakes. Even when it comes down to this idea of sort of fashion and things, this fool looks a bit more equipped to deal with that journey than some of the fools that you'll find in the tarot suit. So I do think there is an element at the moment of refreshing and kind of starting over. In the influence, we've got the Page of Swords. Now, the thing about the swords is trouble and strife, challenges, and things like that. So you've got these challenges, you've got these hurdles that the page is bringing. Now, in the influence position, this could be taking you away from those hurdles because you've had those in the past, or it could be taking you towards those hurdles. The influence could be that you are literally saying, I ain't going to do that no more. I'm going down this road instead. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. I need a quieter life. Or it could be that this influence is coming in now and that somebody is here to stir the pot, basically. The obstacle, we've got the Six of Pentacles. Now, this is a really fascinating card when it comes up this way round, because it's saying the obstacle is that you cannot see the wood for the trees. Do you get what I mean? You cannot see the full picture. If it wasn't in the obstacle position, I'd be saying the opposite. I'd be saying, look, you've got a really good position here to see the overview of a situation, like to see how all the different strands are coming together, because literally the person here is using magic or something, and they are standing over this tiny version of the village. So they're able to see what's happening, all the gossip, all the comings and goings. They're able to see it. The obstacle position, though, is saying that I think you're too close to a situation right now to be able to move past it, right? So whatever this was, and whatever this need for a refresh is coming, not just from the ace, but from the Fool in the present as well, it really does feel like you can't see the way out of a situation at the moment. How other people see you. Now, again, this is really interesting because we've got the Strength card. Now, in a standard deck, it's this way round. The white dressed maiden, either pulling out a bad tooth from the line or a thorn from a paw, something like that. In this case, we've got this side. So that's the standard side, as you can see. Look, oh, look, it's your third molar, whatever. This way round, that maiden and that lion are facing up against a demon, or their own demon. So their own challenges. They're facing a challenge head on. We've got the infinity sign here. So there is an infinite amount of courage, an infinite amount of strength, an infinite amount of energy here. So it's a very defensive position, but it really does feel that other people think that you are fighting your own demons. Now, that could be alcohol, drugs, it could be past relationships, depression, whatever the hell is kind of their version of your reality, if that makes sense. It's not saying that you are any of those things. It's not saying that you have any, deep-seated issues and you're facing any demons at all. It's just that other people are making that assumption, if you like. It's the assumption of others. In the advice, we've got the Star this way round, okay? The Star is quite often seen as, I often talk about it, wishful thinking. In this instance, like, this side would be wishful thinking and, you know, some of those sort of elements that I relate to the card. This way round, it's saying, yes, there is an element of wishful thinking, but you've also got, there is a rose here, the universal symbol for love. We've got this spiritual embodiment of universal energy. So the stars here are streaking. When you see that, this might be comets falling to Earth, chunks of comet. It doesn't matter. It's a falling star. What do? We make a wish on a falling star. But this has this connection to this spiritual side. So it's almost saying that you need maybe to reconnect with that spiritual side over the coming months. But also, it feels like you have to do more than wish. Okay, turn those wishes into goals and move towards them, because with this new vibe of this new love energy coming in, it's, you know, finding a new partner. Well, that's great, but if you never leave your home and you're still reeling after the effects of the last person, that's not going to get you very far, is it? It's like you have to put some of that effort in. This connection with that spiritual side, it isn't just talking about, you know, going to church or doing any of that. It's about looking at yourself, your inner, true, authentic self, and asking yourself, were you the best version of you in that relationship? What is the best version of you moving forward? How do you bring that out? And so this idea of this wishful thinking, it's like, oh, I wish I could be a better person. Well, you can. You just need to have that spiritual connection with yourself and decide that that's where you want to head forward. And then finally, it feels like you've got some difficult options ahead, right? It feels like you've got some difficult choices, some areas ahead that are going to feel very mixed blessings. So not everything is going to be horrendous, even though you think it is. There's always going to be that silver lining. There's always going to be that spark, because the fives are about taking stock of a situation and realizing that things are not quite as bad as they seem, and that actually, even if everything resets back to square one, you are taking that knowledge with you. So when the Fool is starting his journey over again, he's not going blind. He already has a bit of knowledge from meeting the magician the last time. Yes, it's a new magician in a new version of the universe, but he's already met one magician in a different dimension. He's got some knowledge. And so this is saying that same thing to you, my darling. It really does feel that although there's going to be some mixed blessings ahead, you're not going back to square one, because you've always got that experience behind you helping you make those future decisions. So what I would say, be very mindful of this Six of Pentacles, and making decisions without having all of the knowledge. But apart from that, darling, I really do hope it helps. And yeah, that is your reading for today. Thank you very much for your question. Thank you very much for being a subscriber. And of course, thank you very much for your donation. But that is it from me today, everybody. It is now 9 p.m. here in the UK. And it's actually 1 minute past. So apologies to the mods. I will take that extra minute as a birthday bonus. So yeah, it doesn't feel like there's a relationship at the moment. It feels like it feels like there's some healing before that will begin, if that makes sense. Although that Ace of Cups doesn't mean it's not around, because there is that new spark of romantic energy somewhere coming in from that Ace. How that manifests itself. But anyway, I wish you nothing but the best, MM, and thank you, as I say, very much for your question, for your donation, and thank you for being here tonight. But that is it for me. I am going off to eat a Chinese takeaway that I'm going to thoroughly enjoy, and not to have any birthday cake, because we haven't got any. But we are going out for proper dinner tomorrow, so we're probably going to have a little bit of cake then. Well, that's it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so flipping much to the amazing mods. You know how much I love you all. I could not do this without the amazing mods. So thank you ever so much to the mods. But that is it for me, everyone. I hope you've had a good evening. I've had a really lovely time. And I will see you next time, which is going to be Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. UK time. Thank you to the mods. I'm now going off to enjoy the last couple of hours of my birthday day. See you later. And I'll be back on Tuesday. Stay you, stay true, stay authentic. And yeah, be yourself.